the 1st of February 2025, and I'm one of the few channels that actually gives the date. If you look on YouTube there and see all the wildfires in California, you could be looking at something 3 weeks old. They never put the date of filming up on the video, and I'm beginning to see scenes that I saw 2 weeks ago, and to present them as new footage when they're not new footage. And then there is some new wildfires, but we don't know what's what. You don't know. Imagine the stupid idiots putting up videos with no date. And that shows you how smart I am. I had the date and time, the date anyway, on my videos for years and years as a guide. And it's underneath on the caption. And it's not enough to say 2 days ago. Because when is the 2 days ago? 2 days ago from today was the 30th of January. But 2 days ago from the 10th of September 2024 was the 8th of September. So if you don't know what date the 2 days it refers to, you don't know when it was made. This is basic common sense. But I was at school till I was 11. And I attribute a lot of that to how I'm so smart. And also I went to the tech in Carrickmacross and we were doing woodwork. I even learned a bit more there. So there you are. Anyway, sorry for the bedraggled hair, folks. I hope to get it cut soon. It's nice and warm anyway. Now, RTE, Radio Television, was on this morning. I get reports from my spies all around the country who still have radios. And they're waxing lyrical about Trump. Oh, Trump. Oh, Trump. I see there that there's still coming out in the air traffic control in America that the forms they ask you is what colour is your skin. Now, we were supposed to get away from racism. And in the woke countries, they ask the colour of your skin. Are you white? And if you're white, you're disqualified. So they were appointing air traffic controllers based on diversity, equity and inclusion. Nothing to do with ability. Now, we can't say what's what. It'll all be all to play for yet. But unfortunately, people have lost their lives. And there was a good lot of Russian dancers or Russian artists on that plane as well. Mr. Trump has come out and made a very sincere sympathy or condolences to the Russian people, which I think is a nice thing to do. But anyway, the thing is that Trump is putting tariffs on Canada and Mexico, and he's telling them, you're pumping us full of migrants, we'll fill you full of sanctions and, what do you call them, tariffs. Well, RTE is tariff mad, tariff nuts, tariff balubas. Now, someone posted underneath on my video to say that in Trump's address to the World Economic Forum, he mentioned the $13 billion that Apple owes the Irish government. That's not paid yet. That's lodged in a New York bank. So that's an interesting one. And they're worried in RTE that he'll hit Ireland with tariffs. Now, here's the thing. What goods does anyone, and there's some very smart people commenting underneath here, but what do we ever buy from America? I never saw anything. Firearms, shotguns and rifles. Firearms, care products, for shining up the wood and that. Briggs and Stratton engines for the lawnmowers. What else? I don't know. Is there much else? I never see made in America. There's a big farm shop down here beside me, and I've never seen anything made in America in it. Never. Now, to clarify, many big companies have European companies have offices in America and have manufacturing facilities in America. But they don't sell from America back in here. If a facility that's Europe-based has a factory in America and sells to America, it's not exporting anything to Europe. The Stills Chainsaw crowd have a factory in America, and Trump was down at it. They're a German company, but they are making the Still saws in America under the Still name. That's all right. Trump has no problem with that. But what he has the problem with is making the Still saws in Europe and selling them into America and getting all that money and making off with it. And but not making brands from Europe in America. That's all right. But then he says, why don't you export them back to Europe? Where are the cars in America? Is there any American-made car? I don't think Cherokee is made in America. I don't think Jeep is made in America. the Europe is ripping off the Americans. But anyway, they're going mad. They're going absolutely mad about it anyway. Now, another thing is, I hear that the port of Zeebrugge in Belgium, is it Belgium? Yeah, Belgium, I think it is. I was in it actually. I think it's either Belgium or Holland, but when we go out that time on the lorries, we wouldn't pay much heed to national boundaries. But there would be customs that time, way back in the 70s. We'd have the whole thing, the lorry be sealed. But anyway, there's a big heap of Chinese electric cars at Zeebrugge, acres and acres. And they're, as I understand it, their their steering is on the right hand side, and so they're not going to be sold back into Europe. Nobody wants them in Britain or Ireland. So the EU tried to push us all over to electric cars. We didn't just go the way they wanted. The Chinese decided they'd get in on the market and whip all the market. And if the EU had to keep away from the electric cars, the Chinese would be stuck with a heap of electric cars they can't sell. I hear that the auto trader in England is unbelievable stuff. There's an awful lot of cars for sale a year old with 11 miles on the clock. 10 miles. They call them demo models. A year old. Where have they been for a whole year? It's very, very strange what's going on there. Not to say now that the Irish cars or the German cars sold into Ireland are great either. There's huge problems with DPF filters and lights coming on the dash and everything. I don't know how that's going to go. I'll do another video on it. In any event, Trump, they're all saying that what Trump is doing will cause inflation. In other words, if you put a tariff on a good coming into America, like a car, like a Toyota car from, we'll say, Japan or Europe, that's going to increase the price for Americans. But it would also incentivize Americans to buy American products. So it's not guaranteed, and I've studied many economic reports. Some say it will cause disruption a bit, others say it mightn't. For most of my life, we lived under a tariff regime in Ireland and all that. They had tariffs on everything, and there was subsidies on bread and stuff in my lifetime. So it's all to play for, but the Bowl Donald is causing fierce eruptions. And someone posted underneath here on my video that he starts off with a big buster, big rip on, and then he goes back down and he winds down to the normal size. And he is a bit like that. So it'll be, but it's unbelievable to see the lefties and the wokes in RTE losing it. They're losing it. Now, he's banned all this LBG stuff. So it used to be you'd have to put down your sexual orientation, and you could have something like 72 genders according to Sharon Keoghan, and now there's only two, male and female. Oh, they're good, they're doing their nut. But the American people did vote overwhelmingly to get rid of all this crap. Well, we have it here in Ireland. Meanwhile, in Ireland here, we have a government being formed. Well, funny enough, Michael Healy-Rae is the junior Minister for Agriculture. I can't see Michael Healy-Rae doing anything to harm the Irish farmer. I think, if anything, he might be better than anything that had come from the main parties. And again, it shows you the wisdom of the people. Now, it'll all be to play for. As regarding the rest of them, you're going to see more 2 million euro bicycle sheds, and they're going to spend. The debt in America has reached 35 million, and Trump is trying to tackle that. We will see. So look, I'll let you go at that. I have nothing more to add on that. But these cars are unbelievable. It's going to be an unbelievable problem. We're going to get it very hard to get around very soon. They're going to make it impossible. I just got a call there from somebody to say that there's a program coming up on RTE. It's the business channel about the Trump takeover of the White House. Trump takeover of the White House. Oh, they're doing their nut. Yeah, we are not going to change here. We did get rid of the Greens. So the Irish voter is not that stupid either. But we still have Fianna Fáil and Fine Gael, all morons, all idiots. There's not one of them who could talk about any subject. Absolutely no experience about anything. Energy around, not a clue. Make it up as you go along. And get someone in with a vested interest to tell them what to do. Maybe Michael Healy-Rae would be one voice crying in the wilderness. We will see. But it is a sad situation. We're not going to get out of it. And in Britain, there's talk of the Nigel Farage's Reform UK taking over power, but you see that Greens in England and Scotland are on 10%, and in Wales. Well, if the Greens are on 10%, they'll be able to form a coalition with the Labour Party. So I see no hope at all. But there is hope coming from Europe. There's an election coming off now in February, and that'll be big news, and I'll keep you updated on that. And the alternative for Germany is doing well, and they're trying to ban them, but I think they probably won't succeed. In Romania, the right-wing candidate had won. The courts throughout the election dumped the election out, saying there was Russian interference on the internet. So we're in dangerous, very, very dangerous territory. Now, another subscriber tells me that on BBC 5 radio last night, I think it was radio, there was a big debate on the EU and trying to get Britain to join the EU again. One contributor said that we shouldn't, and they shouldn't because the EU, apart from everything else, is a war machine. It promoted the war in Ukraine, and it's going to start another. So they will surround Russia, they'll try and put Putin out, and Putin will fight. So the EU is a warmongering machine, the same as the American Democratic Party. You see, Trump really isn't like that so much, but we'll see how that goes. It's very dismal, the whole thing. Our countrymen, 40% of them refused to vote in the last election, and the other, well, there might be 30, there might be 10% were away or something, or sick, but 30% didn't. And the rest voted for Fianna Fáil and Fine Gael. And they'll keep Sinn Féin out for 100 years. We're stuck with Fianna Fáil, in my opinion, for 100 years, and Fine Gael the same. 100 years. That's the harsh reality of Irish political life. As your neighbours is doing it. I do tell them, and the devil mend them. They'll end up very, very poor. We'll see you back, folks. Good luck. Thank you.